Me and my wife usually get asked this question, how do you stay in a relationship as long as you guys have? My wife's name is Dawn. So we've been together for now 23 years. And I know you're looking at me and say, are you even 23 years old? You can see some of the grays. You can see some of the grays getting close. Yes. We've been together since the end of our junior year of high school. I know we're an anomaly, and that usually does not happen. We are blessed to have been in a relationship that long. We've been together for 23 years and married close to 9 years. Well, almost 23 years together and 9 years married. I know you're saying you guys were together like 14 years before you got married. Yes, don't judge. We both were not ready. Even though if I would have asked her earlier, she would have probably said yes. So, we're just on the same page. And that's what I'll say. A lot of times when people ask us for advice, oftentimes I jokingly say, I ain't got no advice for you. I don't know. But I'll say this. I believe God's hand is on our relationship, on our marriage, on our friendship. And I'll talk about friendship in a second. Um, because his hand is on and God is first in our marriage and our friendship and our relationship in general. I believe he has orchestrated our steps really in our relationship. Um, Yeah, guys, I'll say this. That's the foundation. That is the foundation. That is the having that spiritual foundation of in your relationship really helps. The other part helps is I believe you have to be friends. And I know what that sounds like. Friends with your spouse. I hope that most people get this understanding about being friends in a relationship. And it's not always you have to share the same interests, but you do have to be interested in the person you are with. If you don't share the same interests, like somebody likes knitting or yarning uh, or whatever it is, and the other person likes basketball and sports, at least try to be interested in the thing that they like. Not pretend, but actually be interested and know some stuff about it. We are blessed to me and my wife are blessed to have a lot of the same or similar interests that we have. But there's some things that we don't share interest in, but I still and she still tries to learn each other's interests because we know it's important to them. Friendship is important. There's a lot of people who I would say love each other but not like each other. Now, I would love to get you guys' feedback on that. Really about um, you know, have you seen it before? Have you seen people who love each other but not like each other? You see it all the time in family members where you love your cousin, but you don't really fool with them though, because they be into some stuff that you can't really get with. You love them, but you may not like them. Ooh, I can't really be around them, but I love them. And that's the thing. I'm just remembering just watching stuff like King of Queens where they don't share a whole lot of interests and they love each other, but sometimes you're like, do they like each other? So I think about that. So that's a big part of it. Putting our friendship as one of the foundations of our relationship is huge. I would say the way you know if you're friends is if something you're doing and you're not together and something happens and you're like, oh, I can't wait to tell my wife, or I can't wait to tell my husband this or that, then you can see that you guys have a great relationship. And a great relationship, if you think about it, if you have a best friend, you like the way you communicate. And I would say that is one of the pieces to have in your relationship with your significant other is to have a part where you guys communicate well and like the way you communicate. And it's not always going to be blissful. I understand that. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be great. But you also always have to choose each other first. And I say that's another thing that we do in our relationship. We choose each other every single day. Uh, Another piece I would say is on top of the spiritual foundation of God being first in our relationship, I would say you have to want to serve the other person more than you want to serve yourself. And I know what that sounds like. And I was in a men's group and we're talking about, hey, men, we're called to be leaders, and the way you called to be a leader, right? Jesus being the example as the greatest leader of all, he came down and didn't say, "Hey, serve me this, serve me that, serve me wine and juice and whatever else it is." Jesus said, "I'm going to serve you." So if you, excuse me, if you decide to just say, "I'm just going to serve in my household," whether it be for my wife or helping out with the children if you have children, or my girlfriend at the time, or whatever it is, your significant other, um, serve them first. If you serve them first, you will be served, right? There's that quote by Zig Ziglar that says, "If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want." I'll leave it at that. You guys have a great day. I'll see you on another Smart Tips.